I'm gonna have to move because I'm trying to do this live and there's people all around me, so I'm gonna have to move. Come with me. Okay. Oh my gosh. Let me see if this side is better. Okay, this light is better. Oh my gosh. Okay. I was struggling today. Hello, welcome to Diaspora Connect. This is Rhonda, and thank you for tuning in. I hope you can hear me. I am around a bunch of children. I cannot find another spot that was free, that was not loud. So I'm hoping you can hear me. If someone is in, please let me know if you can hear me or not. It is extremely loud out here because all the kids are out here. So I may have to do this live at another time because it's so loud out here. And people are walking all around me, you guys. So this day here has not been a good choice because there are people everywhere. So I am going to try to do this live and hopefully you can hear me. I'm going to try to get the points real quick. I'm trying to wait till someone comes in to let me know that they can hear me. So I'll wait a few minutes till someone comes in. I'm trying to talk loud enough that you can hear me amongst all the children that are yelling all around me. So thank you for tuning in to Diaspora Connect. My name is Wanda Hanford, and thank you for all my faithful subscribers. I am at 906 subscribers. You guys, thank you so very much. I really appreciate all of the love and support. Thank you for the subs. Thank you for the subscriptions and the viewership. Thank you for taking the time to view my content. And if it is helpful or informative for you, please like, thumbs up, or thumbs down, but it still gets me in circulation so other people can see the video and I can get more subscriptions. Trying to get to 1,001K subscribers so I can begin to be monetized, which I'm not sure if that's going to be a possibility with all the truth that I speak. But I'm hoping you can hear me. I am at a local cafe. It's pretty public. I'm trying to be discreet or trying to sit somewhere where people are not like sitting behind me. But I had to move 3 times, you guys, because people are sitting behind me a lot. But anyway, I'm going to start the video. This video is about how to prepare for border runs or leaving in and out of the country, which many countries on the continent of Africa require that a tourist or visitor leave the country every 90 days. So therefore, if you're in Tanzania and you came in on a tourist visa, you must leave the country every 90 days. You can try to go to the immigration office and ask for a 30-day extension, but that's not a guarantee that you will get a 30-day extension. So just be prepared, I would say, to leave the country every 90 days. You can go to neighboring countries. You do not have to go back to the country that your passport is from. So, for example, I have a passport, and I'm born and raised, I have a passport from the U.S. or America. If I leave the country, I do not have to go back to America when I leave. You may be told that, but you really do not have to go back to your home country. You can just visit other countries. So you can visit other countries on the continent of Africa. You do not, I repeat, you do not have to go back to your home country. I'm saying this because I've heard some people were being told this, but that's not true. As long as you leave this country every 90 days, you're compliant with the tourist visa. You do not have to go back to your country that your passport is assigned to. You can visit any neighboring African countries. So, for example, if you want to visit Kenya, there are 6 countries that border Tanzania. And if you want to visit Zambia, Malawi, Burundi, Uganda, Rwanda, Kenya, whatever it is, six countries that border Tanzania. You can go visit those countries if you want to go to the West Coast, Ghana, Nigeria, Senegal, Sierra Leone, Gambia. You can visit those. If you want to go to South, you can visit South Africa, Namibia, Botswana. So the Kinshasa, Congo. So you can visit whatever country on the continent you would like to, as long as you leave the country. And I would say stay, maybe visit the other countries, okay? Leave the country and visit the other countries. Since you're on a continent and you have to leave every 90 days, you may as well go visit other countries. Stay for like a week for a vacation or longer if you would like to. And when you're done with that, you can come back, which is legal. It's not illegal to travel the continent. I repeat, it's not illegal to travel the continent. So let me get back on the subject. So if you are, when preparing to do border runs in and out of the country, you need to make sure that that country, if they require a visa, you need to know that when you get there, you will get a visa on arrival, and or you will have to apply for one online. Kenya requires you to apply for a visa online. At this point, you can't get one on arrival like you used to, so you would have to go online to the Kenya embassy and apply for a visa to enter the country. Some other countries require you to apply online, but many of them don't. Tanzania, you can, when you come into Tanzania, you can just apply. You get your visa when you come into the country, a multi-visa on the U.S. passport. So, yeah, so just prepare. When you go into another country, it's not just get a bus ticket or a plane ticket and leave and go to that country. It's not that simple. You must take a COVID test, of course. When you're leaving each country, leaving, you have to get one for, entering the country. And some require you to have some at the borders, but Tanzania changed that to where if you can just get one here, then especially if you're just going to neighboring country. If you're coming from the U.S., then it's different. But when you're going to visit neighboring countries and you're already in Tanzania and you're going like to Kenya or Rwanda, Uganda, I believe you just need one COVID test. So you get one here, and then for example, if you're going to go visit Kenya, you get your COVID test here, you apply for the visa online, and then for Kenya, you need a yellow fever shot. So just need to make sure that whatever country that you decide to visit, that you have all the requirements, because if you get there and just book a bus ticket or a plane, and then you get there and you're deficient of something, then it'll be a complicated situation where you'll be held up, stuck in immigration until you get. It's just harder to try to get things resolved when you're already at the border. So just try to do these things before you go to the border. So try to make sure you have your COVID test before you leave, and I believe it's 72 hours before you go into the country. But check on it, research. Don't take my word for it. Research. I've left the country several times, but I'm just saying research. Always research when you hear YouTubers and any of us who are in the actual country and giving you advice. Still do research. Go online and Google YouTube. YouTube has a lot of videos out, different stuff. Call the embassies. The embassies also give you a list of requirements when you come into that country. When you are, even on the continent, when you go into that country, there are requirements like certain shots. A lot of the countries require the yellow fever shot. Ghana did, so I got it back in 2018. I think it was 2018 or 19. During the year of return. I think I keep getting those 2 years mixed up. I can't remember. It's 2018. I think it was 2019. So I got the yellow fever shot. That's good for like 10 years. So let me look at this. Oh, okay. You're welcome. CC. Okay, so when you go into these neighboring countries, make sure that you have all your requirements. You have your COVID test 72 hours before you leave whatever country you're in. So if you're in Tanzania and you visited any other country, sorry about the noise. I am in an area where I couldn't avoid the noise, you guys. I'm at the cafe and it is packed out today. I don't know if it's because it's Halloween, but it's packed out today. and I couldn't even get a spot in the quiet area that I usually come in on Sunday. So it's very loud. I'm over here by the children, so I do apologize. So when you are leaving any African country, then you go into another one, not going back to the West, not going back to U.S., even though you have a U.S. passport. It's nothing saying that you have to go back to the U.S. You go to the U.S. when you get ready to go to the U.S. There are no requirements for you to have to do that. Like, you don't have to do that. You go back when you get ready. You can travel all over the world with your passport. Nobody's requiring you to go back to the U.S. if you don't want to right now. So even though you are a U.S. passport holder, as myself, nobody can tell me that I need to go back to the U.S. because I can go where I want to go. Now, if they want you to leave their country, that's a whole nother thing. They can say, oh, maybe the immigration officers, they can say, well, you need to leave, which we know we need to leave on tourist visa, because you have to leave every 90 days. Nobody should have to tell you that you need to leave. You should know you need to leave the country every 90 days if you're on a tourist visa. Leave the country. But when you are going to neighboring countries, you must make sure you have the requirements met. You can't just get a bus ticket off flight. I keep repeating this because I want to make sure this is ingrained in everyone. There are a lot of people on the continent, and a lot of diaspora, Black Americans from black people from the diaspora, basically UK, Canada, Australia, everywhere, and we're traveling the continent. If you want to go from country to country, you need to make sure you have the requirements that you need. The visas. You make sure that you know which vaccines are. I mean, which shots are required. Most of the time, it's the yellow fever shot. So you must have the yellow fever shot. Going to many of these countries. If you don't have it, then that's something you have to deal with at the border with the country. And I don't know how that might go. So I know a lot of people don't like getting jabs and all this, but it's something you need to consider before you decide to travel. That it's going to always come up whenever you leave the country. Do you have the yellow fever shot? And then you can talk to them about, because all of the borders have people there, I guess, to give you shots or whatever, and you can talk to them. But it's good to always try to have everything done before you go, so it'll be kind of a smooth process where you go into the country. So when you leave Tanzania, it kind of works like this. You leave Tanzania, if you catch a bus or if you fly, well, I say catch a bus. If you go to if you drive or fly, if you drive or catch a bus, it goes like this. You go out of Tanzania, COVID test. They stamp it, make sure they look in the system to make sure you have your COVID test. They don't stamp it anymore, but anyway, everything is in the system, so they see it online. They look for your COVID test, and then you leave Tanzania and go into Kenya. So both immigration offices are right next to each other. So you go into one, and it's like both of them actually are in the same office. I think you have. Yeah, because some of them are different, but the Kenyan one, both of them are in the same office. So you go out of Tanzania and into Kenya at the border, and then you go into the country. So as you're going in, they're looking for the requirements, they're looking for the COVID test, they're looking for the yellow fever shot. And then you get your visa. You pay $50 to get your visa. Actually, for Kenya, you got to do that online. So I guess you do it online, so you print something out, and maybe they put it in your passport. I haven't actually done that one. So I have a friend who did that one. So when you do that, then of course you go into the country. They're going to be asking you how long you're going to stay and where you're staying and who you know there and blah, 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 blah. So be prepared to let them know where you're staying, who you're visiting, how long you're going to be there. They ask you those questions. How long are you staying? Where are you going? Who are you visiting? And how long you're going to be there? So just be prepared in your mind and heart to know that you will have to answer these questions. Just be prepared with an answer. You need somebody you're visiting, maybe a name, or if you're just visiting the country. Most people go visit Nairobi or Mombasa. So if you go visit, you just let them know where you're staying. Or you're visiting and you're staying at the blah, blah, blah resort or the blah, blah, blah hotel. And then you give them the information, let them know, and they ask you how long are you staying. You're staying for a week or a month or however long you're staying. So if you live in a country like that, I would recommend you stay for at least a week. That's just me. But anyway, so yeah, what else? So when you do that, you go to the neighboring countries, and then you're in there, and then visit and have a good time, blah, 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 party, Nairobi, Mombasa, wherever you're going. And then on your way back, if you are in these countries less than 14 days, you don't have to take another COVID test. You don't have to take another COVID test unless you're there over 14 days. You do not have to take another COVID test. So what you need to do is when you come back, you need to come on, like say for instance, if you, I don't know where you're going to go after that. Maybe you want to come back to Tanzania, for example. Okay, so if you want to come back to Tanzania, then you get your ticket or your flight, I would say ticket, and you come back to Tanzania. And when you come back in, you're gonna, unless you have a multi-visa, if you have a multi-visa, you don't have to pay to come back in. But they'll just recheck your stuff. So you're coming back, and they may ask you some questions. Oh, you coming back? You back already? You just left? Blah blah blah. They're gonna ask you questions. They're gonna ask you questions. They're gonna ask you questions. I'm saying that, so you won't be shocked, surprised, and whatever. So as diaspora, we've been having a lot of questions asked. A lot of questions asked of us. Be prepared in your heart and mind to answer questions. You are visiting, you're a tourist. You're a tourist visa, you're visiting. That's it. You're visiting, you're tourist, you're visiting, you're traveling the continent. That's it. Now, if you have another visa that's different from a tourist visa, then you would say, I'm doing business, I'm on a work permit, I have residency, blah, blah, blah. I mean, they're going to see it in your passport anyway. This video is mainly for those who are on the tourist visa who must leave the country every 90 days, because if you have any other visa, then they probably won't, I mean, you won't be leaving anyway. So it's mainly for those who have the tourist visa, who are leaving in and out of the country every 90 days. These are the things that you need to know when you go to leave the country. You just don't get a bus ticket, and you just don't get a flight. And I'm sorry I'm yelling because kids are yelling loudly, and I want to make sure that you hear me. So I do apologize for the loudness. I couldn't find a quiet spot today. So I have been forced to do this video outside with the children. So I do hope that you can hear me. Thank you for your subscription. Thank you for your new subscribers, old subscribers. Thank you for your viewership. I do appreciate it. I am at 906 subscribers, you guys. Yay, yay, yay. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Please share my video for those who are interested and need this information. If you think this information is helpful for those who are needing to leave the country and they need information, please share this video. It is very important. It's been important to know what to say and how to prepare to leave the country. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to make sure that you are aware of, everyone. You just don't get a bus ticket, you just don't get a flight, you just don't get a train ticket, you just don't drive and leave the country. You need to be prepared. Okay, you need to be prepared. And while before you leave, you got 90 days to prepare for your departure. Meaning, make sure you have all your requirements met, your visa online if you need it. Research each country that you are visiting. Don't go by what other people tell you. Don't go by what YouTubers tell you, even myself. Research, research, research. It is very important that you research before you take these border runs and you leave the country, just so you'll know what to expect. You don't want to be caught off guard and in a situation where you're not prepared, okay? So make sure you plan accordingly. Get you your hotel, Airbnb. If you know someone in the country, get their information so you can let them know you're visiting this person. So again, it's not illegal to travel the continent, everyone. It's not illegal to travel the continent. If you're African and you're from the West, it's not illegal to travel the continent. You can travel the continent. It is legal. So never let anyone tell you. Please do your research on a tourist visa. If you're visiting different countries, it's okay. It's not illegal. So no one can tell you to go back to America until you're ready to go back to America. So please do understand that. No one can tell you to go back to America until you're ready to go back. It's your choice. That's why you have a passport, so you can travel around the world if that's what you want to do. If you decide you want residence in a certain country, then you do have to apply for residence in whatever country. So you may be in Tanzania for 6 months to a year, and then you decide you want residency in Burundi or Malawi or Uganda, Rwanda, whatever. You go apply for. You can apply for citizenship there or a passport. So you can do that. So it's your choice. So please do your research on a tourist visa so you can know your rights. So if you are told anything other than you're allowed to leave, you have to leave every 90 days. If you're told anything else, then that's not true. So just research, know your what you can and cannot do on a tourist visa. This video is very important. So please, those who have traveled or on the continent, please review this video. Please share it as much as you can to get the information out there for all my people, because this is primarily for the diaspora, those who are coming, leaving the West, and they're traveling the continent because they realize that somewhere on the continent is where they originate, their tribe, their nation, their people, somewhere on the continent, and they're coming back and they are researching and they're visiting to find out who they were created to be. And so this is what we're doing. So just know what you can and cannot do on a tourist visa, a visiting visa. You do have to leave the country every 90 days, so just plan accordingly unless you get a different visa. And plan accordingly unless you get another visa. And then, then you can go ahead and you don't have to leave every 90 days. You get a different kind of visa. There are several visas. Please research, because no one's going to tell you which one is best for you. Everybody is different and everybody's financial situation is different. So you want to figure out which visa suits you. You could be of retirement age and maybe a retirement visa would suit you. You could have children in school, so maybe a student visa would be more sufficient for you or would suit you in your situation. You could be doing business and then you look into a work permit and residency. Or you could be volunteering at an NGO, and then you could be looking into a voluntary visa and residence. You could be volunteering at a Christian organization. You can look into a voluntary visa there and a residency. So, or a religious organization. I don't know too many Christians that are in the diaspora right now. It's not a lot of Christians in the diaspora that I know of, but if there are any, they can do that too. So. Yeah. So I think that's the main point. I want to do this video and make sure I got this out to everyone because I haven't seen any other YouTubers or heard any other YouTubers do videos in reference to this. This topic is extremely important, you guys. I've left the country several times, so I am able to instruct you and advise you accordingly because I've actually done it. So I've flown and I've also rode the bus as well. So, yeah. So please plan accordingly as you're getting closer to the 90-day mark. If you're in this country, Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, or if you're in Tanzania at all, Arusha, Mbeya, all these different cities, Mwanza, wherever you may be, Morogoro, just plan accordingly to leave the country. In my opinion, which I'm trying to choose my words, right. I would say I would recommend, if you can, I would recommend that you plan to leave the country every 90 days. Every 90 days. I would not recommend that you go to immigration and ask for an extension. That is just my opinion. That is just my advice. I will recommend that you leave the country every 90 days. Look into my eyes. I can't say a lot. I will recommend that you leave the country every 90 days unless you have a different visa. I would not recommend you go to immigration asking for extensions. At this point, I don't think that's really a good idea because of the different, because it's to their discretion whether they want to give you one or not. So don't depend on that. Do not depend on that. Now, if you have an emergency, and it's a true emergency and you cannot leave the country in 90 days, then you can take a chance on going down. And yeah, gonna be some questions possibly. Your first time it may be okay. The first time, like if you just come here and you're asking for a 30-day extension and you just got here, you may be okay. But anything more than that, I would say if you've been here 6 months or longer, I would not recommend you go to immigration and ask for an extension. I just recommend you leave the country every 90 days. Yep, that's just my opinion. My advice to you would make your life calm and collective, and you know, it's just not as stressful. It's a bit stressful when you do that. So just leave. If you just leave, that's a little bit better. Leave, go visit. You're just visiting, you know. Yeah. So let me see if there's anything else. Yeah, I said, oh, again, thank you for my faithful subscribers. This is Diaspora Connect. This is Wanda Hanford, and I am in Tanzania, Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. I'm doing this video to provide guidance and advice for those who are doing border runs and leaving the country. I would advise you to prepare for these border runs. Do not just get a bus ticket, a plane ticket, a train, and just go without preparing, because you need certain things. You need visas. You have to have that money. You need um, visas, and you need you may need shots for certain countries. From what I noticed, it's mainly yellow fever shots. So yeah, so at the borders, many of them have those people there to give you a yellow fever. Now, I haven't heard anything about any mandates for the jab, the new jab. I haven't heard anything about that yet, you guys, but you know, a lot of times what's going on in the West starts to slowly trickle over here. The good part about the continent of Africa is that they're kind of slow with stuff, poly, which is slow, which is great on our behalf as we're over here and traveling, and then we don't need any additional issues or any additional required jabs, especially that new one. Yeah, you don't want to have to do that. So yeah, so anyway, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the likes, and please share and subscribe to my channel. I am at 906 subscribers, and I would appreciate your support in getting me to my goal of 1,000 subscribers. I'm at 906. I'm almost there, you guys. It is taking me so much longer than the younger ones. You guys, the younger ones just get up to 1,000 so quickly, but that's okay. It's not the age that matters. Somebody told me it's not the age, it's the content and the value and the information, the valuable information that you provide. So I guess I'll look at it like that. I think I provide valuable information, especially for those who are wanting to come to Tanzania, wanting to visit and or repatriate, as well as those who are already here, and they need guidance and information. Because some people come here and they're kind of like lone rangers and they kind of do their own thing. So they'll always have all the information that they need to be able to maneuver through the different nuances of being on the continent and living. I mean, it's just a different system, and it's not like the US. It's totally different. So the way things are done and the way you move when traveling and all that. So, hi, Albert. So salama. So yeah. So that's what I want to make sure that we're aware of and understand the differences of how you move here on the continent versus how we move in the West, and how things are done and the processes. So always make sure also as diaspora that when you come, that you have your attitude in check, your volume in check, your kindness. Work on your kindness and your generosity. It's always welcome when you're a visitor in Mama's house. So when you visit in Mama's house, when you visit your Mama house, certain things you got to do, certain ways you have to act. look at the continent of Africa, in whatever country you choose to visit and or repatriate to, and you come from the West as an African, as a Black person, as a Hebrew, as a Bantu, remember, think of it as your mama's house and what you would and would not do in her house. So I'm going to read something to you guys that I wrote. I wrote this when I was an admin of the largest WhatsApp group last year. I got here last year in July, and I was one of the admins of the largest WhatsApp group. It was three ladies. It started with two of them, and then I was just the first like person in the group. It was like it was on WhatsApp, and it was something like a means for communication. But they added me as an admin, and I was like, but why? I really didn't want to do that, y'all. I really didn't want to be an admin over a bunch of adults. And I remember why it was difficult to be an admin over adults. Now, children is different, but adults don't like you to tell them what to do. So it's very difficult. But I'm trying to find this. Okay, so I'm gonna read some tips to you that I put in the group, and I found that it was very beneficial and helpful, which a lot of people in the group was a little offended, like I don't know who she thinks she is. But now, if I look back on it, I remember and I realized that if they would have followed these guidelines that I set, then a lot of issues would not have occurred, even in Tanzania with some of the diaspora's key issues. So okay, so this is what I put in the WhatsApp group when I was an admin of the group. So I'm gonna read this to you. So I got to look at my phone, okay? So Africans in the diaspora, we must remember that we are visiting Mama's house. When you visit your mama, I'm gonna put my glasses on, you guys. Okay. When you visit your mama, you conduct yourself accordingly. We should always remain thankful and grateful that this country was open to allow us a place of refuge. This is just a reminder to us all. Be humble, grateful, because that day that you go to extend your visa, at any time they can tell you to go back to the U.S. I am sure none of us wants that. We must be mindful in the way that we conduct ourselves, as well as the way we do business here in this beautiful country. Um, yeah, so basically I wrote that. And I also had this, I had to write this also. You guys, I had to write so much, and we're all adults, but I had to actually come up with something like this to regulate or control make sure that we stay, our behavior stay within the guidelines of this country. I also could be aware that we are law-abiding visitors. Therefore, please avoid instilling fear, being argumentative, or displaying any negativity. The idea is to remain positive, respectful, and truthful. And finally, this is the last. Uh, this is the last something that I put in the group when I was an admin over the largest group. I actually left in February, and it was about 300 people, 300 families in the group. So this is the final comment that I put. We communicate with respect and kindness. Respect each other's practice and belief. This is a non-partisan and non-religious group. I had to say that because it was so many different spiritual practices in the group. It wasn't just one. So everybody, sometimes they get on a roll and everybody start arguing with each other about spiritual practices and what's fake and what's real. So I had to put this in there to make sure everybody know that this group is like an informational group, not just a religious or spiritual group. So I had to keep everybody kind of calm with the going back and forth with the beefing about different spiritual practices. And then I said, information shared here is for assisting you to come to and integrate into Tanzania. So those are some of the pointers that I was giving the people who are coming here last year to try to, advise them accordingly. And it is amazing how so many people would get offended in the diaspora. Mainly women would get offended because I wrote those things and I would say those things. Um, it's like, well, who is she? Well, she not my mama. So it was like, you guys, it was spiritually, emotionally draining. I actually felt like I was back in America. That's when I said, you know what, me and the other admin decided, you know what, we both gonna leave this group. So we both just left the group. We just left the group hanging, and the next person in line became the admin. We had enough, because it's very difficult to manage adults. Now, if you're managing children, that's one thing. But when you are having to manage grown, hard grown people, it is extremely difficult because everybody's mad at you. Everybody's upset with you. Who do you think you are? Blah, 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 blah. So they just, I had to get out those groups. So now at this point, when I tell people I am all grouped out, I mean it. No groups for me. I think I got out of my last group a couple of months ago, and I was in like an Israelite group. Got out of that group, I start feeling anxiety, like I'm back in the U.S. I did not come here to feel anxiety. I did not come here to feel like I'm back in the U.S. I did not come here to feel like I'm working for Mzungu still, with the anxiety and the over your head, the hovering of the spirit hovering over you it's a bad spirit over you, like, just the arguing and the anxiety and the stress. I did not come here to feel that. So I was like, you know what? I'm about to walk alone. I'm about to do my own thing. Thus, when I decided to do that, all the blessings started being bestowed upon me. Like I just started being blessed financially. I was being blessed with my business. I registered that all by myself. I didn't do any eating and greeting, spending money. I didn't do none of that because I was meeting with a lot of people and spending a lot of money. I was not doing any of that anymore, and I was able to get so much accomplished just by myself because I was more focused. I was more focused on the purpose and the goal from which I came here. So, thus, Diaspora Connect was birthed out of my, being here. I did start last year helping others by doing consultations, which many of us do. But it started immediately for me because I came in July and I was like one of the first ones here. And so people were like reaching out to me and calling me, and how is it? I want to visit, da 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 da. So that's kind of when I started doing consultations and started just sharing my path of from US to here and how I'm getting along, finding apartments and blah blah blah, thus creating a business. So yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to do this video, and I wanted to share my views on how to prepare for border runs and all that jazz. If you need any more advice or information, please reach out to me. You can contact me via Diaspora Connect 0@gmail.com. That's my email address for my business. So you can reach out to me that way. And I do charge for certain services, so don't feel some kind of way because this is valuable information and I actually shared a bunch for free. So everybody's experience is different, but I do charge for certain services, and I think my fees are some of the lowest because my consultations are 30 USD per hour. Still, from last year, I started September last year, and a year later, I'm still at 30 USD per hour. And there are many, many more people here who are doing consultations, and their fee is a lot higher than mine. And I have been here longer than many of them. So when I hear people say, "Oh, they're charging all these fees," we're sharing information, so it's our time that we are charging for a lot of it because you can find a lot of this information online. Thank you, Yayo. So You can find a lot of this information online, but it's good to have someone that has actually walked these steps and they can guide you accordingly based on some of the hiccups that you will run into, just to prepare your mind and heart so when you have to go through these things, you won't be like taken back with questions and all that. And you're going to get, and tell you something, I'm going to tell you something, diaspora, you're going to get a lot of questions, especially Black Americans, they call us, or Black people from the UK, or Black people from Australia or from Canada. You're going to get a lot of questions. I would say the diaspora, the African or Black ones from US gets the most. There's been some issues going on, so we're going to get a lot of questions. So be prepared in your heart and mind for these questions. Don't get thrown. Don't get thrown. Don't be stressed. Don't, you know, don't, yeah. Just pray. Keep a level head. Stay calm. You might want to, if you know you're going to any of these business offices or immigration or anything, or traveling through the borders or going through immigration, any kind of way, you might want to take a deep breath. You drink some coffee. You might want to take a shot if you got it, and just be in like a chill mode while you get through this process. Because if you high strung and if you all amped up, you ain't gonna be feeling good in here. You're not gonna be feeling good in here. So I would recommend that you just take a deep breath, just follow the guidance that people give you that you trust. All information is not good and right information, so be careful who you follow and listen to. Be very careful. I'm listening to that being here on the continent. Many people provide information and guidance that's not correct. I'm just saying. I'm not perfect, even though I've been here a year and 3 months. I'm not perfect with my information and guidance, but I have been here a little bit longer than some people. If someone's been here less than 30 days and they're giving you all this advice and saying this, be very wary, be very careful. Come on now, be very wary. At least let them have left the country one time, especially if they're on a tourist visa. If you at least been here at least 4 to 6 months, because in 90 days, that's 3 months, you have to leave the country. So before you follow someone's advice, don't do it just because they're whatever, I don't know, because of their personality. Look at the time that they have been here and the experience, the time, and even jobs do that. When you go get a job and look for a position, they want some experience. Okay, experience. Not too many of them is going to hire you with no experience. Same thing as when you are traveling the continent and you're getting advice about something that's very important, especially when it has to do with like your livelihood. Ensure that you're following those who have experience here, who have been here and have proven that they have that sustainability, that they have that staying power. And it's not like they're so special, but it's the fact that they have made it through a lot of the kinks and trials and tribulations that some have not made it through. So be very aware of this. It comes with like maturity. So you must, especially when you uprooting everything to travel the continent or try to find your tribe, or interested in repatriating because you're African and you're from the continent of Africa, which should be okay, but some people don't see us that way. But it don't matter what they see. What matters is what we are and who we are and what we do. So just focus on who you are and what you do. Don't focus on what other people think of you and what they say about you. Don't worry about that. I mean, where you come from, that's the problem. You got Mazulu and them saying and telling you what they think. It don't matter what they think or how they feel. All that matters is you're a child and chosen of the Most High Yah, the uncreated creator of heaven and earth, that God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You are the chosen seed. Therefore, you are coming back home to find your true land and your true tribe and your true people, because they're scattered all throughout the continent of Africa. So no one should have an issue or problem with us coming back here, but some do. But it's okay, because guess what? The uncreated creator is the one that called us here. The uncreated creator is the one that owns it all. Just because you were born in a specific country does not mean you own the country. Just because you were born in a specific country does not mean you own the country, especially on the continent of Africa. So you can't look at me and say, you're from America. Why are you here? Well, this continent belongs to the Most High Yah, and his people were dispersed throughout the four corners of the earth. So he owns the world, not any men. So you go by what he says, don't go by what they say. Okay? That's just like my little pep talk to you. All right, so I'm on this live because it's getting very busy, and I will see you again in the next live. I'm gonna do another one next Sunday, and I'm just trying to think about what topic I'm gonna discuss. Try to discuss topics that are very relevant and that will be impactful and helpful for you. Okay, so I'm about to end this live, and I'll talk to you in the next video. See you in the next one. Well, actually, I ain't gonna end it yet. The reason I was thinking about ending this because there's a lot of people coming up here, and I see a lot of diaspora coming. I don't want to not talk to them. So yeah, I'm gonna end this live. So see you in the next video. Peace, family. As Lisa Cabrera says, peace, family.